Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, The Wealthy Mindset. It's yours truly, Money Making Mitch. And as usual, guys, this is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence and research. So what's happening? Well, to set the stage for today's video, take a look at this clip and then we shall continue.
In terms of the outlooks, and one of the views that we have is that China for the past few years has been trading very much on hope, and it's been a place where people would have typically sort of bought the rumors and sort of sold the facts, sold the news. We think that this time around the situation is different with China. This time around, the rally that we have seen so far this year, and let's remember, China has been one of the best performing markets globally so far this year. And this time around, it is driven by fundamentals. And that is what is different versus previous ebbs and flows in the Chinese equity markets. This time around, it's driven by fundamentals. And by fundamentals, there's a couple of things. The first one is that if we look at policy making in China, whether we look on the monetary side, whether we look on the fiscal side, even on the regulatory side, essentially China has a coordinated, accommodative policy across all these three. Yes, perhaps on the fiscal side things could improve, but directionally we've got all these three channels where China is being accommodative. And we have seen China fiscal stimulus since the end of last year, sort of Q4 of last year, and we have seen the impact of that fiscal stimulus onto consumption, onto retail sales, which the most recent number has surprised on the upside. And to me, what is very interesting about that is that a year ago, a lot of market participants would have questioned the potential impact of fiscal stimulus. Now we have seen the subsidies come through, and we have seen the impact on the retail numbers, which means there's a clear linkage between the fiscal stimulus and consumption, and that sends a very strong signal to both policymakers and market participants. So that's one of the elements why we think this time around fundamentals are taking sort of a front seat. And we've also got the AI developments, a big sort of breakout moment for China earlier this year. China doesn't just China innovates. There's a clear evidence of China now innovating, and we also have policymakers embracing the private sector, embracing the new productive forces. This potentially is a new chapter for China tech. And we have seen earnings in that space, predominantly on the offshore market, being very strong. That's what we mean when we say fundamentals are taking a front seat.
All right, guys, welcome back. So if you had any doubt whatsoever in your mind as to if you're investing into the right country, doubt no more. Put those doubts aside. And when NIO invented the chip, the God chip, the Shenji chip, and I said it before, the Western world pretended they did not see, NVIDIA is rushing with Trump to the Middle East not long ago to expand its markets because they know that in China, their sales are going to decrease dramatically. And at the time, the CEO of NIO said that they will be selling these chips to other automakers, especially their partners, like Chang'an, Chery, Geely, SAIC, etc., all those who have teamed up with us thus far for battery swapping. And when they said it, people still did not understand the ramifications of this, and they still keep focusing on the weekly delivery numbers. But you see, I've said it before, revenue is going to come from selling Skyos, chips, phones, battery swapping, and so much more. Well, what has happened? It says NIO will take orders from other automakers after spinning off its chip business, that I also spoke about the potential of this happening in the past, where we'll get shares of this chip company. According to a local media report, Emperor William Lee said in March that NIO's chips and operating system are open to the entire industry and welcome peers to use them. At the time he said that. NIO will accept orders from other automakers after spinning off its chip business, according to a report by local media outlet Cailin today, citing a source close to the company. And I said all these things were coming. You must have vision or you should not invest. If you don't have vision, what you do is you look at the stock and not the company. And when you do that, you're not ready to invest. That's why, one lad came on my station, I think in my channel yesterday, put a comment. He bought in at $12, he said, and he's been holding the bag. I told him, well, sell and run, and I will buy your shares from you just like what Citicorp is doing, you fool. It says, yesterday, another local media outlet, Late Post, reported NIO plans to bring in strategic investors for its chip-related business, selling a small stake while maintaining control over the project entity. But that was debunked. NIO is not going to sell a small stake. See, they all want to buy a stake now. First, they said it's a waste. Remember that when the shorts, the negative Nancy's, the trolls were saying, oh, they should just build cars. And I said, shut your mouth and pull your pants up. So now they're saying, to scare people, well, NIO may sell a part of the business. Well, if it's a waste, why would someone want to buy it? No, what's happening is you have investors lined up and begging to invest into it. The electric vehicle maker chip team currently operates as a business unit, but will become an independent project entity in the future, Late Post said, citing a document. In today's report, the source told Kalin that the Late Post report is accurate and the independent project entity has already been registered under the name Anhui Shenji, like the Shenji God chip, Technology Company Limited. CNEV Post noted in its report yesterday that Anhui Shenji was registered on June 17th with NIO Vice President Bai Jian as its legal representative. Its registered capital $1.39 million US and its business scope, so that tells me $1.39 million. That tells me they will pave the way for investors to come in and invest into the company. And its business scope includes chip design and sales, according to the data from Tianxia. Bai joined NIO in November 2020, previously serving as general manager of Xiaomi Chip and Advanced Research Department. So he came from a technology giant. Bai currently leads NIO chip unit and smart hardware operations, according to Kalin's report today. So whenever NIO hires someone like the manager they recently hired again to help with marketing, people don't understand it. They see the news and they don't get excited. They only get excited when the stock is going up. But when we hired this guy, Bai is his name, from Xiaomi, people did not even digest that news. They're like, oh, they just hired someone. Then the chip was created. Not made, it was created. It's called the God chip. So this is how it works. NIO puts things in place, chips in place, and then you have to wait, but the fruition will come. NIO launched its in-house developed smart driving chip, the Shenji, in December 2023. The 89, which began deliveries in late March, is equipped with 2 Shenji in case one fails, while the updated ET5, ET5 Touring, ES6 and EC6 launched last month each feature 1 Shenji chip. On March 29, NIO founder, chairman and CEO William Li said during an interview with local media on the sidelines of the China EV 100 forum, William Li said that NIO's chips and operating system are open to the entire industry and welcomes peers to use them. Yes. If you want to buy the best chips, you can go to NIO, he said at the time. If you want to buy the best chips. If you want the second best, you can go to NVIDIA and any other American company you choose. But if you don't want dog poop, cat poop, rat poop, and bat poop, come to NIO. The cost of developing the Shenji is roughly equivalent to building 1,000 battery swap stations, Lee previously said. The report by Kalin noted the construction cost of NIO's first generation battery swap station was RMB 3 million, while the cost of the third generation has been reduced to 1.5 million RMB, according to the report. And the CEO said that this will happen and the cost will continue to go down. And now the partnerships are helping us build it for free. Boom! NIO has strong financing needs, but whether investors are still willing to invest in autonomous driving chips is another issue it must address. For autonomous driving chip projects, investors' exit paths have significant uncertainty, and currently domestic automakers have a growing number of domestic suppliers to choose from, the report cited. NIO's domestic peer, XPeng, has also launched an in-house chip that's 3 times faster than NVIDIA. Ours is 4. And bet your last dollar we're working on one that will be 8 times faster. And then the rest of the playing field will try to catch up yet again. It says last week, the Financial Times reported on that when they did it. Oh yes, the Financial Times reported on XPeng chip. but they don't report when Neo does something. They say Neo claims to have done it. Well, they can claim again. I hope you guys found this video yet again to be informational, inspirational, and motivational. If so, guys, blah, blah. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up right there. It takes a lot of time to do these videos and the editing. And if you haven't yet subscribed, you might want to think about doing so, because in this channel, we are waking up the middle class for the first time to get a major piece of the pie from the ground level up as to how the game is played on Wall Street. And like 50 Cent, we get rich or we die trying, guys.